Hey guys, my name is Bando, this is Brexit Bando, and today, unfortunately, is my birthday, but I managed to finish my Blood Angels army, or Blood Angels army so far, and I thought I'd share that with you. So, sit back, relax, and all that jazz, as I waffle on about my pretend war dollies, I suppose. Hi guys. So, starting up first, we have the command section of my force, led in the middle there by Praetor Ramiel, who is just a bog standard Praetor, nothing special about him. I used the parts from a Mark 6 Marine. I sculpted the hair onto his head myself. I believe the head is from Dominion Zephon, as are the arms and the sword. I created the Taruges, the leather straps around his waist, from a tin can, because I wanted them to have a bit more movement than just your traditional plastic ones. He's got some knives that are taken from a Necromunda Delac kit, or Delaque, depending how you want to pronounce that, and a few other bits here and there. I based his coloration off of the old Chaplain Lamarte's model from 2nd edition, with the red markings running up the shin and around the edge of the Mark 6 armour. Also kind of appearing to look almost like a painted on skeleton, a little bit. Now the reason I've gone for this coloration is because in the Tylos Rubio book and one of the Siege of Terror books, it mentions how Blood Angels wear this black scheme when they're on suicide missions. And these guys are battling on the planet Augustus 47. The Augustus sector has over 100 worlds, and this one they've been sent to because there is something valuable on this world. And unfortunately, the Night Lords got there first. Now, the army is stuck, their astropaths are dead, their fleet support's destroyed, they have no way off the planet, and the world itself is a blistering desert. It has 3 suns that come up and incinerates the surface every couple of hours, so they have very little time on the surface, and then they have to go back into these caves to hide. But it does have a long night cycle as well. And the night cycle, unfortunately, is the playtime for the Night Lords. And the world is very strange because not only is it incredibly hot, the life on the planet is incredibly rugged. So it gets burnt off but grows back within hours during the night cycle. To his left, we have the Moritat. And the Moritat's name is... I can't find it. Asbiel. Asbiel doesn't wear the black because, frankly, he doesn't believe he's going to die. He hasn't given up on life like the others have. He's decided that he is actually going to make it off this planet. He hasn't resigned himself to his fate, unlike the others. To the right of Ramiel is Celephiel, who is the chaplain of the company. And he's the one that's really pushed this whole "we're not getting out of here, chief" kind of mindset. He was the first one to don the black, and his sort of followers, his retinue of veterans, were the first ones to dress up with it as well. So these guys are made from Dominion Zephon, and some random parts, bits from like Fafnir Ran, the Blood Angels upgrade sprue, and some of the old veteran sets like the Vanguard and Sternguard sets. For the Moritat, he has mostly its Dominion Zephon parts, just slightly re-changed in how it's posed, because Zephon's obviously leaning heavily forward, so I've put him back on the back foot this time, and just given him more of a upright pose. The chaplain is made from a Mark 6 Marine with parts from the Age of Darkness Praetor, and it was a little bit of a pain to get those parts to sort of fit. and I used the shin pads, obviously hip pads to bulk him out a little bit. And they've both got Mark IV heads, which I believe came from the Sternguard set. In front of them are 5 members of the 411th Sanguine Lifeguard. The Sanguine Lifeguard are a Solar Auxilia regiment who fought alongside the Blood Angels from the earliest days of Sanguinius' discovery, earning honours alongside them, and have fought in every battle that the Blood Angels have fought in. They've had members present. Now, I've only finished 5 of them, but the plan is to finish off the rest of the Solar Auxilia battle box that came out recently. Next up, I have the veterans. And the veterans are, as I said, they're the followers of the chaplain. So they're already wearing the black, and they are all armed with lightning claws apart from this sergeant, who's kind of the chaplain in training. So again, he's got a nice power axe and a hand flamer. And all of these parts, generally Mark VI Marines. These guys have got lots of parts from the Sternguard and Vanguard sets. I've also used a lot of the Cataphracti Terminator Teruges on them because I generally swap those out when I'm making Terminators, and I had the bits laying around. The Sergeant has the torso from the Blood Angels upgrade set, which I had to chop his torso off at the waist to replace, which is not as easy as it should be with these new Mark VI Marines. I don't know how long we get to call them new Mark VI for, but it is what it is. These guys basically were built from parts. I had a lot of spare parts left over, so I will eventually upgrade them to a full 10-man squad, but at the moment, not quite. And then I have 2 tactical squads finished, using parts from... Well, it's basically they're the only proper Mark VI Marines I've ever done. Every other time I've always found lots of ways to really heavily convert them, but these guys, I kind of wanted to keep mostly stock. The differences being that I added bits into things like the Sergeant and a few head swaps. The Sergeant, for example, having parts from the Black Templars upgrade, from the Dark Angels bikes, the Mark IV set, the old Mark IV set. And then the rest of these guys, mostly Mark VI kits, a few pouches from other places, and a couple of the bear heads are taken from the Black Templars upgrade sprue. The same for the other squad as well. Yeah, I mean, there's not really much. They're Mark VI Marines. They are what they are. I very much do like the heads from the Black Templars upgrade sprue. It's a very nice set. The heads have got lots of detail sculpted into them, and they're really characterful. And it was very fun to paint some sort of stranger skin tones on them. You know, some sickly, slightly, sunburnt, a bit pale, but not pale. Just trying out different methods. Now, the hardest part of this was definitely batch painting, or actually getting through them. Like, a lot of my painting is done very quickly because it's a very similar scheme with a lot of weathering, so it's a lot of batch painting. These guys, every single one has their own unique markings, and the markings made things very difficult. But I think in the end they look fine. I think there's a good balance between red and black. I hope that they don't look too much like Dark Angels. I think that the idea that they are Blood Angels still comes across clearly. So let me know what you think in the comments. The thread is up on the Bolter and Chainsword if you'd like to have a look at it. And then you can see in my signature all the other threads on there, such as the Night Lords, who these guys are fighting. And you can see what's going on. So I'm not sure what will be added to this army next. I'm still working through the backlog, but that's another one down. Okay guys, thank you very much for watching. My name is Bando, this is Brexit Bando. If you want to pick something up in the UK, I recommend going to Element Games and using the code JAM737 to double your reward points. gets you to support the channel, but also gets you a little something as well. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.